Welcome. My name is Matt Bautel, and in this unit, we're going to learn about creating apps with buttons and learn about the Model View Controller, or MVC, design pattern. All right, the apps that we're going to be building, three of them. The first one right here is called Hello Button. It's about as simple as you can get. We're going to have one button right here. That when we click it, it's just going to count how many times it clicks, and we'll learn about basic button interactions and everything in that one. The second one's kind of cool. It is a functional two-player tic-tac-toe game. So we could even play a game right here. So I get it up on my emulator. So, X plays, and then, I don't know, let's see. So O goes, and then X plays again, and O is trying to go for the win, but X blocks O and gets O forked here. So O tries to block one of them, but can't block both, and it detects that X wins. And of course, we can start it as a new game. All right, so a fun one right there. And then our third one is also kind of neat. This is a one called Lights Out, where you try to make all 7 buttons match each other. And you see we can reset to have a new game as well. And that's one of the we'll learn about later because we have a few interesting twists in store for you for that. All right, so good stuff coming up. All right, so our goals for the unit, what do we want to learn? First thing is that obviously we're creating apps that use buttons. No surprise there. Second is we're going to be building UIs to specifications, right? So essentially, I give you some sort of a picture, and you go ahead and build what the basic layouts are going to be. And we'll learn about 3 different layouts that turn out to be important: linear layout and relative layout, especially, and then to some degree, table layout, as we're going to be using on our tic-tac-toe game here. We'll also learn about various resource values that we can use in our program, right? So what should we do with strings? How do we declare colors? How do we actually get the views that we're going to be creating accessible in code? And finally, we're going to learn how Android supports the MVC pattern. All right, so in our first lesson, we're going to learn how to create a new Android project. And basically to see what you get right out of the box, right, when you make a new project. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this here in a minute, just kind of lay out what's coming up here. So I assume that you already have things installed, and this is our procedure then, is we go ahead and make a new project, and this tells how to do that. The defaults are pretty good. Usually I'd say use a descriptive app name, which is good. For exams in particular, if you're taking the class for credit, I'd really like you to put your username as part of your exam name. That'll help me to keep track of them. Company domain here, again, you're going to use your name on it. That's going to make it unique if you have multiple ones running, or if I have multiple ones of your programs running. And it's also just good practice. Where you put it, it honestly doesn't matter where it goes. There's really no concept of a workspace like you might be familiar with when you're working in Eclipse. Okay, defaults are pretty good on the versions and everything, and we're going to use empty activities and use defaults for other things. Main activity is usually pretty good. All right, so let's jump in here. So I've brought up an Android Studio, start a new project, and we'll follow through these things right here. So this first one is going to be called Hello Button. Feel free to put spaces in it if you like here. When it uses it in the project location, it will do the right thing for you. Company domain, again, like I already had set mine up, and we noticed that if you use a particular company domain, that it's going to use that as the package name. Package names are always reverse URLs. So they're kind of nice, and they just let you specify it as a URL, and it'll reverse it, and it'll put in your project name as well. Go ahead and choose your project location now. And we click Next. And I'm going to accept all the defaults here. I'm going to be doing all my development this term for the phone and tablet, and targeting for Android 4. And again, we're hitting large majority of the devices here. So it says 94% of the install base are using that. So pretty good. What else do I have going on here? So for an activity, generally you're going to want to start a new project with an activity. The first couple that we're going to do, and the ones in this unit, are just going to be empty activities. We'll learn later about the other ones. And then your activity name here, so it's by default, it's going to be main activity. That's fine. Generate a layout file, which we do want. so we can specify where things go. And the layout name, the default is also fine. So I'm going to click Finish, and this is going to take a couple minutes to build here, so let it build and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I'm built, so I'm going to take a look at some of the things that I get here, and probably in order of importance. Most important, of course, is going to be your Java folder here. Alright, so I'm on the Android view, I guess. And within Java, we can check to see that we have main activity. That's where we're going to be writing all of our code and responding to the button presses, all that kind of stuff. All of our logic is going to go in here. Probably second most important are your resources, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in your layout file. So I'm going to go ahead and open up activity main. We'll see that we can go ahead and we can set we can write in XML. So this is an XML file, and then they have a little viewer here. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and build the project, and I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. But we'll notice here that we also can drill down and we can change different properties of the things that we want to set. So this text view right here, this hello world that we get to start off with, we could go ahead and we could find text within there, and we could change that to be whatever we wanted. All right, so those are my first couple. Where else am I going to spend time? So values. So we're going to put all of our strings inside another XML file here called strings.xml. And this is going to help us when we want to make updates to our program, particularly if we're going to be translating to other languages. This is very much the Android standard to use. Any text that shows up on the screen goes here. A couple more things that have to do with building. So next one is your Android manifest. So this guy right here is where you're going to set permissions. So later on in the term, when we're doing things with cloud storage and we need to use the internet, we'll go ahead and put an internet permission in here. You'll also see that your application name and in particular which activities you have and which one launches when you start the program. So we see that main activity is main. It's a launcher, and of course that's the only one we have. But if we had several activities, we'd tell it which one is sort of the one to start with. You see that we also have our package name in here. So when we put those settings in, this is where it ended up. Finally, we have Gradle Scripts. So if I go down to build.gradle for my module, I can open this up, and it will tell me a few different things that are important. So it'll tell me, for instance, what version I'm targeting, right? So I'm targeting a new version, but I'm allowing backwards compatibility back to some earlier ones. Which one I'm going to compile with, what my build tools version are. These things change all the time. Don't worry about that if you end up having to update this even several times over the course of your learning this term. And then down here are any dependencies that we have. So if we use any external libraries, that's where we're going to put them. All right, so those, again, just to review those 5 files. So app permissions are in the manifest. The model and the controller Java code are going to be inside our main activity and other Java files. We have view XML here. All our screen text is going to go in strings, and then our different libraries are in the build.gradle. That's all we have for this lesson. See you next time.